Hi guys, this is Merc and today we are looking at 10 Unsolved Mysteries of India. This was a suggestion from a friend. Thank you for your suggestion, mate. So without further ado, let's begin. About 16 years back, in 2001 surfaced the reports of sightings of a monkey-like creature in Delhi. Some claim that he was 4 feet tall with black fur, wearing a metal helmet and wielding metal claws, while other people who claim to have seen him say that he was over 8 feet tall and slashes humans. On 13th May 2001, 15 people suffered lethal injuries, ranging from bruises to bites and scratches, and other such incidents were also reported. The incidents gripped the city in fear, and the sightings and attacks continued for over a month before completely fading away. The creature or the man dressed like monkey was never caught. In a small village located in Assam, a state in northeastern India, there occurs a phenomena so bizarre and horrifying that it is beyond your wildest imagination. Between the months of September and November each year, Zatinga witnesses a mass bird suicide, wherein hundreds of migratory and local birds descend from the sky between 7 and 10 pm, plummeting to their deaths by crashing into buildings and trees in full speed for apparently mysterious reasons. The phenomena has baffled scientists for many years. Locals believe it to be the work of evil spirits haunting the area. Since birds are not known to be suicidal, no one has been able to provide a clear explanation as to why it happens, and so specifically during the monsoon months and between fixed night timings. The Rupkund Lake lies about 16,500 feet above the sea level, at the most uninhabitable place between the Himalayas. There are about 600 skeletons scattered across this lake. The skeletal remains first came to notice in 1942, when a British forest guard discovered an alarming number of human skeletons floating in the water and lying haphazardly along the lake's edges, after the harsh summer that year had melted most of the ice from the lake. It was evident something horrible had happened here. At first, it was believed to be the remains of Japanese soldiers killed at war. But then in 2004, it was discovered that the skeletons dated back to 850 AD. But what could have caused such a massive death of hundreds of people all at once? Legend has it that a goddess, enraged by the defiling of her mountain sanctuary, rained death upon these people by flinging hailstorms at them that were described to be hard as iron balls. The remains can still be seen as the ice over the lake melts off during summers. The explanation behind this lake full of skeletons is still not clear. About 15 kilometers west of Jaisalmer, a city in western Rajasthan, lies the ruins of a village which is called Kuldhara. The 500 years old village of Kuldhara was inhabited by 1,500 residents, but on one dark night they simply vanished. They didn't die, nor were they abducted. They simply left. The reason for their sudden evacuation is still unknown. Some say they fled, unable to bear the torment of government taxation. People believe that while leaving, Kuldharans cursed the area, making it uninhabitable for humans. According to a legend, anyone who has ever tried to live in the village has died brutally. The village is said to be haunted, and the paranormal investigators have experienced strange events around the cursed area. The village remains deserted till this day. Home to the largest cannon on wheels, the Jaivan Jaighar Fort's history is filled with tales of intrigue and treasures. It is believed that while returning from successful campaign in Afghanistan, Man Singh, Akbar's defense minister, hid the spoils of war in Jaighar Fort. In 1977, at the height of emergency in India, Jaigarh Fort found itself in the spotlight again when the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi launched a thorough search of the fort on a tip-off that water tanks hid the Mughal treasure. Nothing was ever found, but the incident received immense publicity. Hollowed out of a single giant rock, the Sun Bhandar cave of Rajgir in Bihar is believed to be the doorway to the riches of Bimbisar, a Magadhan king who loved hoarding treasures. Sun Bhandar literally translates to store of gold. It is said that when Bimbisar was imprisoned by his son Ajatashatru, this is the place where his wife hid the treasure on his orders. Undeciphered inscriptions found etched on the wall of the western cave are the clues to open the doorway. The British once tried to cannonball their way through the supposed doorway, but without success, leaving just a black mark that's still visible. Shanti Devi was a normal girl born in Delhi in 1930s, but when she turned 4, she started acting strange and was unhappy with her life. She constantly told her parents that she belonged somewhere else and that her parents are not her real parents. She claimed her name was Ludgi Devi and that she died while giving birth to her child. She also gave very specific details regarding her husband and family life. Shanti's parents, worried by her behavior and claims, decided to inquire, and what they found out was beyond belief. There was indeed a woman named Ludgi Devi in the town that Shanti claimed to have lived, and she died of childbirth. The town existed, and so did her husband and her family. When Shanti eventually met her husband from previous life, she recognized him instantly and acted like a mother towards her child. Upon learning about her story, the newspaper started covering it and became quite interested. It turns out that Shanti was not only able to remember every instance from her previous life, but also the time between life and death, where she claimed that she met Lord Krishna, who told her to spread the story about her experience. Hundreds of researchers have tried hard to prove her reincarnation wrong and fake, but have always failed considerably. The Stoneman is so far the most elusive and mysterious serial killer in the Indian crime history. The police found no clues and to date does not even know whether it was the work of a one man, a group, or even if it was a man or a woman. Between the years 1985 and 87, 12 pavement dwellers were killed while in sleep. Residents of Sion and Matunga area were terrified by these killings. People who walked early in the mornings as a routine were afraid to leave their houses. Speculations rose as the Sion area is a hub of tantric rituals, and people often came across leftovers from tantric processes on the street. Police were puzzled by these killings and did not have much evidence to work with. A victim was identified as an eyewitness who was lucky enough to escape the attack. However, the sole survivor could not provide any help, as the attack happened in a dimly lit area and did not catch a glimpse of the killer. The victims were mostly rag pickers and beggars who slept alone on the streets. The scene was carefully chosen so that there were no witnesses. In most cases, the victims could not be identified since they had no family members or relatives. A big heavy stone is all they found. The killer used the heavy stone to crush the head of his victims. Sniffer dogs were brought, but they lost the trace. The killings ended as abruptly as they started, and shortly in 1989, similar killings were seen in Kolkata. No evidence was found to positively confirm that the same killer was doing this, except for the modus operandi. Similar killings were also seen in Guwahati in 2009. Kolkata police profiled him to be a well-built man of good height. Despite increase in patrol in both Mumbai and Kolkata, the killer was never found. there are so far 11 Nobel laureates of India. The first Indian to receive the Nobel Prize was Rabindranath Tagore. He received it in 1913 for literature. Police in the Indian state of West Bengal say the priceless Nobel Prize medal of renowned poet and author Rabindranath Tagore has gone missing on March 25, 2004. Visitors to the museum dedicated to him in Shanti Niketan first noticed the disappearance at daybreak. A wristwatch, several rare paintings, and gold medals were among the stolen items. The museum, part of Vishwa Bharati University, which was founded by Tagore in 1921, was closed the previous day, and it is unclear exactly when the items were stolen. A 5-year probe by the CBI into the theft was officially closed in 2010. On several occasions, reports surfaced that the medallion had been smuggled to Bangladesh, but no concrete proof could be obtained on this. Malcha Mahal, also known as the Vilayat Mahal, is a hunting lodge in the Chanakyapuri area of New Delhi. The broken down palace is inhabited by brother and sister, Prince Riaz and Princess Sakina Mahal, who belonged to the royal family of erstwhile Oudh, and they never came out of it. The place has no electricity, no water, and only company the brother and sister duo has are these ferocious dogs who make sure nobody enters the premises. People who have tried to sneak in claim to have seen the prince only to be scared away by a gun. They say he spoke to them in impeccable English. People say the only time he comes out is to buy meat for the dogs. The palace was built in 11 acres of land and initially was a community house for people living in village of Malcha. When the capital of India was shifted from Calcutta to New Delhi, it was acquired by the government under the Land and Acquisition Act 1894. Princess Vilayat Mahal, the Begum of Oudh, was the great-granddaughter of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Oudh. Nawab Wajid Ali was disposed by the British more than a century ago, and their property was seized. Begum Vilayat Mahal was fighting with the government of India to get her property back. In May 1985, the government finally decided to allot Malcha Mahal to these royal descendants. However, on December 10, 1993, out of pain and mental stress, Begum Vilayat Mahal committed suicide by drinking crushed diamonds. She left behind her 2 kids, Princess Sakina and Prince Riaz, few Dobermans and German Shepherds, and some royal treasure. Her body was lying on her study desk for 10 days, and her kids were mourning in grief. On June 24, 1994, some people tried to attack this haunted place in search for treasure. The terrified young siblings had to dig the grave of her deceased mother and burn her body to save her grave from being vandalized. They were given a revolver and permission to shoot in self-protection by the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Today, the dungeon is guarded by over a dozen dogs and high shrubs and grills around the premise. Local people say that during the initial days of family stay at Malcha Mahal, they used to hear sounds of music and dance coming from the palace. They say 1 or 2 reporters tried to get in, but never came back. Nobody has a clue as to what happens inside the palace. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any suggestions for next top 10s, you can leave them in the comments below and I will try to get to them as fast as I can. With that being said, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time.